That's how Man City moves. That's how a proper club moves. They are Brexit, bro. Why do you still use euro? Use pounds. Okay, people. Bangkakat. Football. Okay. We're going to talk about today about some Manchester United signings, Leny Yoro and Xerxes. And the big question is, did United overpay for Leny Yoro? Okay. Let's keep it simple in the beginning. Let's check the price. Okay. He's an 18-year-old sought after center back. Real Madrid wanted him, but they don't want to pay the money. Okay. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, a deal worth Euro 50M. And I don't know why they keep using euros for these transfers, because they'll switch. For some clubs, they'll use British pounds. Some clubs, they use euros. I always use British pounds because when I play Football Manager, I use British pounds. Then I can get an idea of the price of a player, okay? How much is, okay, forget the add-ons. Some add-ons, you don't even pay them. Like, for example, Martial had like an add-on for Ballon d'Or. You can't count the add-ons because he didn't win any, so United never needed to pay. So add-ons involves him maybe winning a cup, playing this much football, whatever. Add-ons are usually worth it because it involves the player working, for the club to pay. Okay? How much is 50 euros in pounds? It's 42 pounds, bro. 42 pounds. That's not a lot for a player, especially one who is sought after by the likes of Real Madrid. This is not even a discussion. It's not a lot. One Bissaka cost United 60 M's. Okay, that's overpaying. If you want to talk about overpaying, that's overpaying. 42 M's for a young prospect. How good is he though? He's 18-year-old, bro. We don't know. Eye test. I like to watch Pythagoras in Boots for analysis because he's usually accurate because he does not only look at stats, he looks at eye test, okay? So eye test, he says this guy has a lot to improve on, but he also has some talents, okay? In terms of reading the game. If you want more details, you can check this channel out, Pythagoras in Boots. We could maybe look at some stats that he has prepared. Like, because I have no idea how to look at stats on websites. I only watch YouTube. So let's look at some stats, right? In terms of, I think, positional, it looks like he's not as good as these, other defenders. More, I would say, experience, except Brentwaite is kind of young. So defensive actions in terms of duels, which is one-on-one, right? It's not bad, but he kind of fails compared to the likes of Van Dijk, who is a world-class center back, right? In terms of ball winning, interceptions, right? He's quite high up there, okay? He's quite high up there. It seems like he doesn't make a lot of sliding tackles, even though if you watch highlights, he does a lot of sliding tackles. Like, the best defenders don't need to make a lot of sliding tackles. Look at Van Dijk, bro. 0.02 sliding tackles per 90. But that's also the squad factor. He's in Liverpool, where they usually dominate the match. So he doesn't need to make a lot of sliding tackles, right? But he's about in the middle here compared to these players. Pythagoras in Boots also pointed out that his dribbling is actually pretty good, right? Yeah, he looks like a natural in dribbling. And what else? Possession. And in terms of possession, he's also not bad in terms of accurate passes. And in terms of forward passes, he may not be as good as these experienced players like Van Dijk, Guehi, but he's better than Brentwaite. Brentwaite, which is priced at, 70 M's. Now that will be overpaying for someone. And just because he's British, they kind of they hike up the price a lot, but he is a bit more experienced than Yoro, Brentwaite, and he is, he's playing in the English league, so he's fine, right? And in terms of heading, he's alright. In terms of long passes, he's actually pretty good and almost as good as Van Dijk. And yeah, let's not get too much into it. If you want a deeper analysis, go to Pythagoras in Boots because he also talks about eye test. And me personally, I don't know if I can play this. In terms of eye test, me personally, I don't watch that much football. So I can only judge on what I've watched, which is the friendly against Rangers. He was calm, bro. He was calm, and he has the body language of a center back. That's important to me, bro. Because he wasn't trying to impress too much or trying to do too much. He just does what's enough for a center back. You don't want a center back that's trying to do too much. We've seen it happen, bro. A center back that tries to do too much is going to fail in the long run. Example, Phil Jones. Phil Jones, when he first started out at Manchester, he was trying to dribble straight to the opposition half. He was trying to do too much. A center back has to be, has to play like a center back. Like one of the best example in a modern game is Rafael Varane, which I don't know why United sold him. He's one of the best center backs in the world. Sure, he can't pass. He's not like the best. I mean, he's not bad at passing. I don't know why you sold that guy, bro. Rafael Varane would have been the best teacher for this guy, because this guy kind of plays like him a little bit. And Rafael Varane is the most vital thing for a defender is reading of the game, and reading of the game cannot be explained in stats. You have to watch the game, and I watch this guy. Yeah, he doesn't do too much. He just plays like a center back. He's cautious. He has a positional sense. Try to not make a lot of mistakes. He actually has a good passing range from what I've seen in this game. And he also does a lot of line breaking passes. And I mean, he's not Licha. He's not Lisandro Martinez level of, passing, but he does it a lot. He passes forward a lot. And he looks for that. But if the pass is not on, he's not trying to do too much. He keeps it simple. I like that. And he has that center back physique and stance. If you look at Phil Jones, for example, I don't like Phil Jones as a center back because he's crushed. His whole posture is not a center back has to be straight up, the posture, right? And you have to be mobile as well. Like Harry Maguire is not mobile. Like he has heavy feet. This guy just looks like, a center back. Like take, for example, Rio Ferdinand. That's a center back with a center back posture, a center back, mobility. You don't have to be a speed demon, but you got to have some kind of mobility as a center back. It is what it is. You can just see these players play and you know whether they're center backs or not. Even Johnny Evans, he's like, 50 years old? He's a center back. He's a pure center back. And his reading of the game is wild, bro. How are you 50 and your reading of you're a better center back than Harry Maguire, bro? How are you 50 and you're better than Harry Maguire? This guy does not have pace, but it's all about IQ, especially when you're a center back. Your reading of the game, you got to anticipate things. Having said that, because he's 50 years old, the one mistake that Leny Yoro made in the match, there was a pass that, intercepted by a Rangers attacker. I'm going to be honest, watching it live, I don't think it was his mistake. The pass was in front of Johnny Evans, but Johnny Evans is not going to get there. This is one thing that Leny Yoro has to learn. Some players are 50 years old, bro. They're not going to chase that ball. Like he's trying to progress the ball, so he passes it in front of Johnny Evans, right? But Johnny Evans just ignored the ball, okay? So yeah, that's a few things that Leny Yoro needs to learn his teammates. He's 18 years old, bro, so we don't know what's going to happen to this guy. But bro, for 42 million pounds is nothing for a center back, 18-year-old who is sought after by Real Madrid. And also, not only that, he's a regular starter for his team. So he's quite experienced for an 18-year-old, okay? All right, now let's talk about Zirkzee. There was United made 2 signings. And before I talk about Zirkzee, I want to say one thing. Even if people consider Ineos or whatever is overpaying for these players because they're young or whatever, even if people, which is not a fact, which is wrong, the best thing about what's happening right now, even if people don't rate Leny Yoro or Zirkzee, it doesn't matter. What matters is I rate the way they are moving about the business. Because usually Manchester United did not move this way in the transfer window. Usually at this time it's still interested, or there's no value in the market, or they're chasing some big name player and it's going to take months of saga, and either they don't get it like De Jong, or they get that player like Fellaini but had to pay way over the price. So United are moving efficient. It doesn't matter if the player is good or not. There needs to be a culture where Manchester United are efficient in transfers. So you buy a player, he's not good, sell him, buy another one. That's how Man City moves. That's how a proper club moves. Efficiency. They're moving with efficiency. And Xerxes is an example of efficient, signing. He has a release clause. Just negotiate. They pay slightly above the release clause. Maybe about 45 M's. Euro, by the way. I don't know why they keep using Euro for United. Just slightly above so they can pay in installments, right? So he doesn't take out from this season's budget, which means, let's say if they pay 5 years, they might pay 10 M's a year or less. So they have more budget to buy players for this season. So they could just pay the release clause and they have to come out with how much is this in pounds? It's 33 pounds. So they probably, the transfer probably costs below 40 million pounds. So he has a release clause. The clever thing to do is either pay the release clause, get it done early, or just negotiate a slightly higher price, which they did, and you can pay it in installments. And we get a player like Xerxes. Is he going to turn out good? Nobody knows. But you got to be efficient in transfers so that you can get players easy. So if the player doesn't work out, you sell him, buy another one until it works out. That's how Man City does it. Man City are efficient as hell in the transfer market, right? And, okay, do I like Leny Yoro? I think I do. I like center backs that look like center backs and center backs that play like center backs. They don't try to do too much. Rafael Varane, I like him. I don't know why they sold him. And back in the day, I like Rio Ferdinand. I like Martinez. Lisandro Martinez does not try to do too much. He's not trying to run because he can't run. He just does what he can do as a center back. He can pass, so he passes. He can defend, he defends. He does not try to dribble, but he's got that press resistance. And Leny Yoro seems like he does have a bit of press resistance. I like that. Now, Joshua Xerxes, do I like the player? I don't watch football that much. But from what I've seen of him, United does not have this profile right now. United does not have this profile of player, okay? United just don't. And because it would have been Martial, but Martial is just, he's done. He's just physically done, okay? So this guy is sort of like, I'm not saying he's Martial level, but he plays like that. He facilitates the players around him. He's not a goal scorer. So you got to understand the modern game, you got to have some kind of variety, right? There's some clubs that play with a total number 9 who you depend on as your main goal scorer. But there's also some clubs, we're talking about Haaland, for example, for Man City. There's also Liverpool that plays more with like a forward that facilitates. Of course, not now with Darwin Núñez, but they used to have Firmino, who used to facilitate the two wingers, the two inside forwards. And those inside forwards, they also depend on them for goals. And unfortunately for Manchester United, you might have to play that way sometimes because Rashford and Garnacho especially are selfish as hell, bro. So maybe, and they don't have IQ. So maybe you need a player who doesn't score that much like Xerxes, but has better footballing IQ, who can link up play and facilitate the players around him. And he's also kind of like strong. He looks big. So that's always useful in the English game. I like the profile. I actually like the profile. Okay, I think Manchester United lack technical players with footballing IQ, okay, that can pass the ball, that are press resistance. Press resistance in the modern game is so vital. And United, how many press resistance players are in United, bro? Not a lot. The captain, Bruno, is not press resistance. Even Casemiro, not press resistant. He has never been press resistant. That was never his job. He had 2 technical midfielders around him in Real Madrid, okay? So no, maybe you could say Dalo, Lisandro Martinez. Luke Shaw doesn't even count because he doesn't play. He's always injured or he's eating too much. Mainu is press resistant, but he's not physical enough for me. But he is press resistant. His IQ is better than some senior players. I'm looking at Bruno and Rashford. How is Mainu's footballing IQ better than y'all? And how is he more press resistant than Bruno? I don't understand it. Bruno is almost 30 years old, bro. Rashford is like 27, 26. How is like a youngster, bro, who just got out of kindergarten, more press resistance than you? It doesn't make sense. It's wild, bro. So I like the profile. I don't mind the profile. And he's cheap, bro. Like maybe they paid about 35 mils, 35 M pounds, bro. That is not a lot of money, bro. Not a lot of money. Manchester United are not overpaying for no one. Do not be fooled by the fake narrative, okay? All right, and why do they keep using euros? Why do they keep using euros? I don't use euros. Nobody uses euros. You are the English Premier League, my friend. My friend, you are the English Premier League. Why do you keep using euros? Brexit. The English are out of Europea or whatever. The English are out of Europa. European. They are Brexit, bro. Why do you still use euro? Use pounds. Okay, this is deliberate. Okay, they're just trying to start ish. They're just trying to get clicks. That's why they use euro. The currency. Okay, it's pounds. Just use pounds, bro. Now that's wild. Why don't you use USD then? If you want to be international, why don't you use USD? Brexit, bro. Brexit, my friend. Do you understand? Okay. Now that's wild. Okay, that's all for now. If you have any other topics, you know I'm a Manchester United fan, so it is what it is. You got to accept that. This is what I'm going to be talking about, okay? If you have any other topics you think I should cover in this channel, it's not a new channel. I just took over this channel, okay? And from now on, it's going to be me on this channel, and it is what it is. This is it. And if you have any other topics for me to cover, just drop a comment. What do you think about these two transfers so far? I'm out. That's all for now. Peace.